Excellent. So just being confirmed now from Tim that we are now live on YouTube.
Oh, thank you, Bash. I think let's start. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to this AGM 2023. It's been an interesting year, and on behalf of the membership, I would like to extend my thanks to the operational team, as well as the board, who have been working tirelessly in support of our community. We are currently 21 members, of which 3 members are on sabbatical, 3 members have resigned, and 2 memberships have lapsed. So our headcount is currently at 21. Mike Suss is going to be chairing today's AGM. So without further ado, I'm going to hand over to Mike Suss. Thank you very much.
Great. Thanks so much, Skippers, and welcome everybody this morning. I'm going to chair the meeting on behalf of our official chairperson, Sam, who, as a parent, has occasional duties on the side. So I've agreed to do this on her behalf. I think item 2 on the agenda has more or less been covered by Skippers, but if there's anything you wish to add, item 2 is the confirmation or resignation of existing members, including sabbaticals. Is there any further information that you wish to add to that, Skippers?
Not at this time, no.
Okay, great. Thank you. Then I will move on to item 3 on the agenda, which deals with apologies and proxies and the establishment of a quorum. I believe we do have a quorum. Stephen, could you just let us know if there are any apologies or proxies?
Yes. The status now is that there are 3 apologies from Michelle Berendt, Catherine Williams, and Wayne McDermott. There was 1 proxy issued, Michelle Berendt, for Stephen 2 as proxy. In terms of quorum status, we have 21 members, 3 on sabbatical, reducing the total active membership to 18. Quorum is achieved if there are more than 50% of members present. Right now, there are 13 proxied or present. That means we have quorum.
Great. Thank you very much, Stephen. I now move on to item 4, which is the confirmation of the minutes of the 2022 AGM. I will take them as read, and I would like to ask if anyone would like to, we need a proposer and a seconder to approve the minutes of that meeting. So would anyone like to propose to approve the minutes?
I'm happy to propose.
Fantastic.
Great, thank you very much, Skippers. May I have a seconder?
I'm happy to second. It would be great if someone outside of MEMSEC would.
Sorry, I can put my hand up to that. I
Great.
can second that. Thank you.
Okay, great. Thanks so much, Dane. Okay, the minutes are approved. We now move on to item 5 on the agenda, which deals with directors, the confirmation or resignation of existing directors, and I'm going to hand over to Sam.
Thanks.
Sam?
The current directors are Lorraine Tanner and Dane Marison, our executive directors, Rihanna, Nick Rabenheimer, Mike Suss, Jan Bester, and myself, Sam Benzala, as well as Mali Paswana and Mark Anani Isaac, both of whom have stepped down with immediate effect at this meeting, as required by the Companies Act.
Okay, great. Thanks very much, Sam. That deals with item 5. We now move on, without further ado, to item 6, which is the Director's Report 2023 activities since the 1st of August 2022. And for that, I'm going to hand over to Lorraine.
Thank you. We open with a passage from Martin Amos's London Fields, as it well encapsulates the year from our perspective. We have all known days of sun and storm that make us feel what it is to live on a planet. but the recent convulsions have taken this further. They make us feel what it is to live in a solar system, a galaxy. They make us feel, and I'm on the edge of nausea as I write these words, what it is to live in a universe. Though still as lean as ever at the beginning of this orbit around the sun, we found ourselves on firmer financial foundations. EXCO's one-year strategy sprang from the experience, reflection, appreciation, and recognition of actualizing the 2022 flagship event, and the observations and understandings at an organizational and community level. Our 2023 plan focused on integration, developing opportunities between the spheres of the organization and understanding our remits, cultivation, growing the operations capacity wisely and supportively, regeneration, replenishing our reserves through partnerships to propel the movement forward. To this end, we continue to pull ourselves up by our bootstraps and forge forward. EXCO became the formal structure to oversee the operations team and drive us forward. We welcomed in new team members, both event-specific and organization-focused, a second executive director and new non-executive directors, taking the board to a full 9 seats. With some renewed vigor, our organizational body attended to some internal health, our working culture, and building our strength. This was seen through the developments such as our first annual report, the board charter, and continuing our efforts towards positive shifts in team dynamics in the workplace. With a whole look and feel anew, our website summoned us all to space, a theme that graciously guided our year and set our sights beyond our known world. Volunteer Days created momentum, drawing new people into the Junction Hotel. Our process at the UK Ombudsman proved to be a one-way ticket, and we consoled ourselves that we gave it our best. Meanwhile, some unwitting and somewhat desperate community members ran headlong into Scam Central on the Viagogo platform. Commodification continued to ping our radar. A local supermarket jumped on our bandwagon, stealing our IP for some quick pre-event grocery sales, and we were courted by an intermediary looking to educate an international beverage company about the ethos of community building AfrikaBurn style. Given the thinly veiled attempts at product placement, we politely declined. In the wake of serious flooding in the Tanker in December and March, our DPW superstars, aka the only white people who look in yellow, headed out to our satellite office in the Tanker to prepare for our routine rural operations. Delightfully, they are looking more diverse as well these days too. Online, 5,184,376 Jacob Zuma people were reached on social media. now I've done Jacob Zuma. 139,700 online followers, 306,816 website users overall were distilled into a temporary community of 9,700 burners in real life. They showed up in Tanker Town as just being over half South Africans living in South African, 2% were South Africans living abroad, 6% were internationals living in South Africa, and just over 40% were internationals, with participants purchasing tickets across 91 nations beyond our borders, with Zimbabwe and Kenya featuring in the top 20. These assorted earthlings translated into a creative collective mobilizing 98 mutant vehicles, 74 theme camps, 56 artworks, 22 performances, and 21 burns. 1,472 work passes checked in before the official event opening, and a whopping 50% of participants were on site by Monday night. The impact of this unprecedented great migration reverberated through the event ops meeting early Tuesday morning. With the addition of a site care team, accountability protocols, and a zero tolerance approach, we are fortifying our civic responsibility, but we are still waging a star war. Tragically, we lost a burner, a clan crew member, during the event week on site. Our wider team handled them and their loved ones with the greatest of care. It felt great to have our backbone of volunteer services standing tall, our orange once again a tour de force, and our event volunteers stepping up in their numbers all over the town. Our off-centre camp flourished this year, Chillers with its name in lights, and in exchange with Burning Man Centre Camp, Arteria, DMV, and RFT were all hives of creative activity. In total, we counted 1,080 volunteers giving 9,881 hours of communal effort across various volunteer shifts. That's more than 1 hour per capita in our temporary community. Notable participant feedback from our post-events needs and information survey tells us that 60% think the population size is correct at just over 9,500. Our community is getting younger, yet there is less family participation. There is a perception of less participation, creative contributions and volunteering. And while more than 85% of participants at the AfrikaBurn event believe that we are united in something worthwhile, less than 50% are engaging in AfrikaBurn activities year-round. At the beginning of the cycle, ExCo defined what a successful event meant: a well-resourced operations team, policy and procedure development, diversity and transformation, a balance of new skills and institutional knowledge, accountability and embedded practice, community-driven education, and a thriving community. And we acknowledge across these internal compass points that we have gained significant ground. Behind the scenes, development carried on in earnest, weaving together the threads of many years of thinking and collective dreaming, planning and speculating on what the future might hold. Working with voluntary support of our expert community members, the different spheres of the organisation trod the strategic pathways and identified our levers of change. The committee, focused on all things farms, also began laying the foundation for the longer-term horizon on Quagga and Valfontaines. Embracing our far-flung team in the membership and the board, our boss parades happened both online and in person. We spark granted 8 projects across the country, and we concluded the orbit with Mandela Day, and the ops team cooking up the proverbial storm of very welcome hot meals on a cold winter's day. Again, laying foundations for returning projects such as Streetopia and Resilience in Shared Endeavour in the new financial year, and setting our sights on the journey ahead. Funding partnerships were actualised through the Department of Sports, Arts and Culture, the National Arts Council, Western Cape Government, City of Cape Town and Art Bank of South Africa, for which these programmes are now currently rolling out. There was a lot of upheaval in this cycle. It's been a rough ride once again. And so, taking from the wisdom of Professor Thuli Madonsela, we acknowledge, when your comfort zone becomes uncomfortable, it presents an opportunity for breaking new ground. And with that in mind, we look forward to the way ahead.
Lorraine, thank you so much for that excellent and comprehensive report. I am going to open the floor to any specific clarifying questions relating to the report. If any members have any specific clarifying questions, please raise your hand now. I see none. I therefore would like to move to the next item on the agenda, which is item 7, resolutions pertaining to non-executive director candidates and the opening of the 2023 election for such candidates. Now, there is a special resolution, and Sam, please correct me if I'm wrong here, but there is a special resolution pertaining to a dedicated NED position. And in addition to that, all members are requested to vote for new NED candidates. There might be some confusion as to how those two items relate to one another, and now would be an appropriate time to raise questions about that. But the election is hereby officially open, and it will close at 5 p.m. South African Standard Time on Thursday, the 2nd of November. So are there any questions relating to this item? I see none. I'm going to, in that case, close this item and move on to item 8, which is the presentation and the approval of the 2023 financial year draft financial statements. And for that presentation, I'm going to hand over to Dane.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Mike. Just open this up over here. Can everyone see that? Fantastic. So before I do get stuck in, I just wanted to extend my appreciation just to all for getting the fiscal year 2024 budget over the line. Just to follow through on further efficiency, I will be presenting the fiscal year 2025 budget in the next special members meeting in February, just as I'd like to lead into an approved budget at our financial year end in July. So just to follow through on the financial summary, you all would have been sent the drafted annual financial statement for the fiscal year 2023. Just please note, we'll be using the next week just to make minor adjustments to it and reallocate certain line items to the correct portfolio. As an example there, we've got AfrikaBurn infrastructure repairs and maintenance that doesn't fall under expenses, and there's a few programming costs that need to be renamed and correctly allocated. All in all, though, we are seeing our figures balance and can present the summary as such. So we had our opening balance at just over 8.6 million for the year. Our closing balance was just over 17.2. Our event revenue was just over 28.2 million, and our investment income was just under 1 million. Other income was just over 60,000, and fundraising came at just under 2.2. That just brought our gross income for the year at just over 31.4 million. So with our event expenses, we saw event expenses being over just 13.6 million. Our operating expenses, which excludes the humans budget, that's at 1.8. Our Humans of AfrikaBurn was just over 5.7. Programming cost was just over 300,000. So I'm just getting a bit of noise there. And Kwagga and CapEx was just over the 1.2. So our gross surplus for the year was just over 8.4 million. Going on to budget versus actual for the year, you'll see that our total income, we were just over budget for that. Our operating costs, we came just below what was budgeted for the financial year. And you'll see that the split with the operating costs are coordinated like this. Our sort of greatest cost sort of centers there are ICT, our rent, and vehicle repair and maintenance. So moving on to our Humans of AfrikaBurn, we can see we were just under budget with that. Our main event expenses, again, we were just below what was budgeted for the financial year. And you'll see the actual breakdown to that over here. You know, the greatest sort of cost centers there, DPW, ops, creative, and transport and logistics. Moving on to programming development, we were quite a bit under budget with that. You'll see the split, you know, it's just website development. Other would be Bospora, Outreach, Burn Exchange, and Spark grants. We are looking at just introducing more humans with this next year to focus on this portfolio as well. Moving on to Kwagga and CapEx, we were under budget there. The one considerable sort of line item, budget item was a tractor. So we are purchasing it this year, and that's why we came quite a bit under budget there. You will see that our sort of the cost directed is water. We increased the water capacity on site. Our direct cost is just general farm maintenance. And that brings me up to the end of that financial summary. Mike, if you would like, I can lead into the next agenda item if you would like to, because it's somewhat relative. So I can't hear. You muted, Mike?
Yeah, sorry, got caught up there. Tane, thank you very much. Just a quick interjection to congratulate the finance team for, I think, some very good planning, and just the general management team for really managing the finances really well. I think we can all agree that was a great effort. Thank you. So yes, please do move on to the next item, which is presentation and approval of auditors' remuneration for the past year and the appointment of the auditors for the following financial year.
Okay, great. Thanks so much, Mike. So, you know, AfrikaBurn has been with AS Pocock now for just over 10 years. We recently just paid them 90,000 Rand for the fiscal year 2023. It is best practice to look at changing auditors every 5 years within our sector. And so, following this, we are advising the intention to change our auditors. The board will review the proposals that have been sent and create a resolution to this on the 4th of November. The proposal and notice of resolution will be circulated to members to vote electronically, which needs to happen within the 40 days of this meeting. So, as mentioned, more details to this will follow.
Okay, great. Dane, thank you very much. So while we still have Dane here, are there any questions relating to either the financial report or this issue of the auditors? I don't see any hands. So we need to approve the financial statements. The draft financial statements. So I need somebody from the floor, please, to approve them. And then I also need a seconder. Any volunteers to approve the draft financial statements, please?
All right, I'll be the first. Bash saying, yes, I like what I saw. And yes, approve as first, seconder. I mean, as first.
I will second if I'm there. I will second Bash. Fantastic job, Dane.
Thank you so much. So I think Bash as a proposer and Paul as a seconder, who just beat you, Cindy. Thank you. Okay, then we also need to approve the auditor's remuneration for the past year. And again, I need a proponent and I need somebody to second that.
I'll be first, Dion.
Dion propose.
I'll second.
Thank you, Skeppers. I perhaps need some guidance from Sam here. Do we need separate proponents and seconders for the approval of the reappointment of the auditor's procedure?
No, we don't, because we will not be reappointing Pocock. The intention is to change auditors. Dane's done a lot of work gathering proposals from auditors specializing in the NPO, PBO sector. The board will review these in our meeting on Monday, the 6th of November, and bring a resolution to members to vote on formally.
Okay, great. Thanks so much, Sam. I think we're then done with all the formal presentations and proposals and seconders, if I'm not much mistaken, which leaves us with only one more item on the agenda, which is general or other matters. So do any members wish to raise any other issues under this item of general? I don't see any hands. So that means that we have probably completed this AGM in what might be record time for AfrikaBurn. I'm not sure those of you who've been through more of these could support that, or
Last year seemed to be quite efficient as well. I think we're on a roll.
Okay, that's awesome. So just on a personal note, I just feel that the organization is on a great footing. These are very exciting times. We were bang on target with our events. We clearly have room to move into the development space, but I think given our sort of post-COVID situation, it's understandable that we've taken a bit of time to warm up, and I think we're well on track to do really exciting stuff. So, yeah, just on a personal note, I'd like to thank everyone I've been working with in this last year. And Skeppers, would you like to have the last word?
Sure, I could quickly just thank you for chairing this AGM. Thank you again to the board for your hard work. The members really do appreciate what you do. We have confidence in you. You are doing a good job. We like it. And then I would also like to extend my own personal thanks to the membership as well. I know this has not been the easiest of years. And thank you for hanging in there, and thank you for, supporting the board and doing the things. Yeah, just to thank you all round.
Great. Thanks, everybody. I think on that note, we can close the meeting. And we'll see you all next time.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks,
you.
everyone.
Cheers.
Go Boca.
Thanks, everyone.
Go Boca. Thank you, everybody.
This must have been
Bye, everyone.
the
Ciao,
quickest
ciao.
AGM in the history of AGMs.
Yes, less than half an hour.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm stunned.
Later, so kind.